Hi, thanks for watching. Now I'll tell you what you're watching. I think one of the ways that they hide the truth is to give credit to architects for work they never did, and create phantom architects to cover other work. For example, let's keep it simple. Say they had 1,000 houses and only 10 architects. Easy. Give them 100 each. Job done. The problem is, there are literally hundreds of these incredible structures all over North America and not enough architects to go around. Like, incredible structures like this, right? I mean, in reality, from conception to completion would take many years, yet they are all credited with getting them built at the rate of one every 2 years, and some even a year. So this is what this video is about. I'm trying to prove, well, that they're telling lies. And something else to take note of is the timeline. They say they've been knocking these things out since 1839, and they start naming different ones for different years and stuff. But they're making it, there's not that many, but there's hundreds. They're everywhere. So this is the house that I'll be concentrating on in this video. It's the state capital in Carson City, Nevada, and they say it was built in 1871. Now you can see there's windows down here, and to give you an idea of the scale, the size of this place, there's a guy in a horse and carriage. So these are really big rooms, and these are really big doors, and this is for really big people. Right? And there's the town in the background. So, in 1871, this was knocked together. Okay. Now, right. This is a man at the site of a new town, and you're looking for a lot, right? This is in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Okay. Now, this is a lot. This is what they're telling you. This guy's looking, he's got a bedroll and he's looking for a place to crash. That's pretty much it. And you've got to take these images with a pinch of salt. I'm afraid they can't be trusted. And I'll show you what I mean. So this is 1889. Okay? There's maybe a few straggling people, and they're probably starving. Right, and they're struggling. And to do something like that, they go to the bulgy size of Texas. I mean, ain't no place for a weak man to survive, that's for sure. But let me show you what I mean. So this is Guthrie, Oklahoma, right? Now, this here is Guthrie, Oklahoma, Logan County Courthouse. And that was 1889, the guys arrived there. And by 1907, that's only 18 years later, we had enough of a population to knock this together. I'm impressed to hell. Really, that's knocked me out. I mean, seriously? Okay. Back to this untrusted slideshow. So again, they're telling us a town starts to grow and the crowd has gathered, so I guarantee if I go right now and look at Anadarko in Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure I'll find a courthouse similar to the one I just showed you. Or it'll be a schoolhouse, or it'll be a library, or it'll be something. Right, so this is to tell us is the first house built in Dodge City, a sod home built in 1872. That's the same time span as the house that we're looking at. So, and that's Dodge City, Kansas. So, the photograph was taken in 1913. So, that stood the test of time. I'm impressed with that as well. Right, I'm not impressed with that. This is a typical downtown street of a town in the American frontier. Now, this is going to sound weird, right? But when I look at these pictures now, I think of the fourth wall, right? Right, what I mean, now, we look at this, and we see this, and we assume that it's the same to the left and it'll be the same to the right. Okay, I'll buy that. But we don't see what's behind the camera. We don't see the fourth wall. And I think maybe that is because there's a big building right behind them, and the town is growing up around this building that's probably at this time still empty. I don't know. I just take my best guess. But here's men lay down the track for a new railroad connecting the wild frontier with the rest of the world in Arizona, and this is 1898. So this house was built in 1871. Well, here's the house. Let's go have a look. So, well, that's the town back there. People knocking together bits of wood, keep the rain off. And this is getting built. There's maybe about half a mile. Right, so, well, they're all struggling. Where do materials come to build this? Is this the architects and engineers and joiners and bricklayers, and is this them all sneaking through without anybody knowing? Because that's the way it must have been done. Right, so here's that. This is strange. Now I don't know the difference in time with these pictures because there's not a lot of dates. I mean, dates are all bollocks anyway, but here's an image of it on a hill. And there's an image of the same building on flat ground. And one of the other things, I mean, they use these for courthouses and libraries and you name it. But they also used it for orphans. I mean, how many uses can you get for these buildings? That's it now, you can't get near it with Google Earth because it's surrounded in trees. Right, so, right, now next thing. Let's have a look at who's involved in building a house. Now we've just seen there's no workforce there. Straggling guys with a tent in their back. Okay, so see who it needs. Right, so first of all, you're going to need an architect for designing a custom home And once the design is finalised, they often remain on board as project managers during construction to ensure it's built according to the specs. I'll reach that in a minute. Now, there'll also be an engineer. A structural engineer is usually required to ensure the house will be both stable and strong. Then a draft person is like a backup for the architect, and they'll prepare technical drawings under the direction of the architect, right, like a rundown from the blueprint, and it's cheaper to pay him than it is to pay an architect. Then you have the land surveyor to determine the contours and boundaries of the site, right. Then we have the builder. The builder is responsible for overseeing the construction. And there'll be a project manager, quantity surveyor, who fulfill their roles organising the trades and providing accurate costing. And it's handy to find a good builder. And you'll also require, this is a cert, an excavator, electrician, plumber, drainer, gas fitter, concreter, carpenter, bricklayer, waterproofer, plasterer, roofer, tiler, floor sander, painter and landscaper. And when that's all finished, the job has to be certified to get a government tick on the paper. Right? So that's who's needed, who's required to help build these big houses. So we're next. Right. Who built it? Right. First guy, Joseph Gosling, in 1870. Remember, it was built in 1871. So Joseph Gosling in 1870. Right. And then 1905. And then John Curtis, 1913. So let's see what Mr. Gosling done. Let's find him. Here we go. 19th century American architects. And Mr. Gosling is not on the list. So, what do you think? Who else? He gets credit for obviously the actual construction, and they done a tart up in 1905, or gets credit for doing something in 1905. And this guy, John N. Curtis, 1913. Right, so let's go look for him. And he'll be under 20th century, and he'll be under Curtis. Yeah. Right. Sorry. I'm sorry, there's no Curtis there. Right. So this next guy, right, and he's, where is he? Right. It was built 1920, 22. Right. By Frederick Delong's, this French pub, right. In 1920, 20. This is another building in the same place. This is in Carson City as well. Right, this is the courthouse in Carson City. So, while the other guy was kicking off the house outside the city, he was building this next to all the tramps for the tents. And nobody noticed. Right, so I'm going to go look for this guy. Right, and the long song, so There you go, it's here. Watch this. Now, born in 1822, they say. He died in 69. So if he died in 69, what was he doing renovating it in the 70s? See what I mean? I mean, not only are they creating phantom architects, they're actually using them after they die. How sick is that? So, I don't know what's going on here, well I do, but it's what I'm trying to point out here. I mean, I'm just a guy flicking through the web to look for stuff. I'm thinking about, kids doing homework or an assignment for school, and they come up against all this crap. I mean, I sometimes think, like, see this wiki, I sometimes think it's like going to the dancing, because you just click and keep going in circles the whole fucking day, and it's pointless. So although people keep pointing towards it, it's the worst place to go. It's the biggest library in the world. Now, back to this. This is a drawing, and this will be a drawing an architect will provide, because he will say, this is what I'd like it to look like when you're finished, if you don't mind. But it is not a drawing. You can do anything with it. You don't get any measurements from it. And they're not much good to anybody. Even this. That's not much of a drawing. So, for the person who said to me, surely you can just give the drawing to the builder and let him build it. Nah. And when I say I'm looking for drawings, let me give you a clue. Right? This is what I'm looking for. A blueprint. An original blueprint. No drawing. This has got everything marked on it. You'll get the size of the screws, the amount of the screws, everything down to that 1/2 inch. There's nothing missing here. And this applies to a blueprint for every floor. You have a blueprint marked off the electrician's work, plumber's work. They all need this stuff. So, this is what I'm looking for. This is my holy grail. So, well, thanks for watching. And please comment.